What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon and Elijah.
I'm your other host, Elijah. Let's just start this off. Huge news. Let them in, Johnny. Let them know.
Man, forget all the music stuff. The boys are winners. We officially won our first basketball game of this season. We went from 0-6 to 1-6. Not a huge improvement, but it's a big change for us, and we're excited.
It was a huge game. We went in there expecting we were going to win, and we just got it done. Of course, so let's take care of business.
It was definitely a closer game than I hoped for. Before the game, you actually asked me what I thought the spread was going to be, and I believe I said something like 8. I think we did win by around 8, but everybody acted like I was
9,
crazy.
So
yeah, everybody acted like I was crazy for thinking we were won by 8, which I get it because we had lost every other game. So thinking we're going to win this one by 8 is a little bit crazy, but I got faith in my boys.
Hey, yeah, we went crazy, got the job done. So let's just keep stacking days here,
Right.
Get it done this Sunday.
Playoffs coming soon. You know what Kobe said? Job not finished. And one win is certainly not finished. We got work to do.
Of course.
We ended last episode by talking about our stream with Dirty Mitch G and how to go, Elijah. Let them know.
We started out pretty hot, of course. It's just kind of like our basketball team, which ironic enough, every single person we were playing with was on the basketball team. And started out hot and then just slowly digressed and whatever the hell we were doing at the end there.
Yeah, we were just having fun at that point, doing the gritty. That's about all I want to get on Fortnite and do is just do the gritty, get a couple kills and have some laughs with the boys. I think we did that. We had some good conversation. So I think it was a pretty successful stream. We brought some viewers to Mitchell and he, had one of his highest viewer counts. So that was pretty cool. Happy for him. Of course,
the Childish Devino stream, it's coming soon. We'll get you on.
Josh Devino is hitting 25 viewers when we stream with him for sure.
Facts.
And shout out to Doovie.
Yeah,
he tried his best to carry
us. He came in at the end to try and carry, but it was a lost cause at that point.
Tough. But let's get into some of our Instagram polls we ran last week. This week we ran 2 Instagram polls about Kanye, about Donda 1 and 2. We just wanted to kind of get an idea of what you guys enjoyed about Donda 1 and if you thought Donda 2 was going to come out on time. So the first poll we ran was asking you if you thought Donda 2 was going to drop on time, meaning at midnight on the 22nd. 15 of you actually said yes, you thought it would, and 10 said no. So the 10 of you would be correct. I was a part of the majority that said it would drop, which is, I'm surprised it was 9 people because that's a lot of delusional Kanye fans. Were you surprised at this result?
I was very surprised. People, they just aren't listening to me. They're taking my knowledge and using it because I told, I was like 100% guaranteed it's not coming out on time, especially since he was doing the listening event later that day. So I would have put a lot of money on it being a no there. So,
well, it was also like one of those test questions where I just skimmed through it and I was like, yes, but in hindsight, I thought no, because the listening party, like my answer was yes for the day, but not at midnight. But I went with yes because that's more what I was thinking than not. So I was wrong. 15 of us were wrong. So that's tough. But hey, at least it's out now. And of course, we'll get into that a little bit later with the rap news this week.
Of course. And then moving on to the second question we posted this week, we had, what was your guys' favorite song off Donda 1? We had Devin coming in with Pure Souls or Come to Life, Evan coming in with Hurricane, Trent with 24, Fernando with Off the Grid, and Brennan Granados with Jonah. What are your thoughts on those answers from the fans?
All great choices. I think those are all the hits off of Donda. So that makes a lot of sense why they were chosen. I got to give a special shout out to Brennan because when he was home late last year, we were out and he convinced me to play Jonah on the touch tunes at the pump in Hoopston. So we were banging that and everybody else was kind of sitting there. I played 2 songs on that. I played Family Ties and Jonah. Those are 2 of like the 5 songs I've ever played on touch tunes. People were just sitting there like, what is this? I'm sure, but we had a good time. So it was all good.
That's all that matters, What was your answer off that poll? I mean, I know you put one in, of course.
I had to go Life of the Party, not on the standard Donda release, but on that deluxe version. Life of the Party by far is my favorite song. 3 Stacks to the GOAT, can never disappoint. I need a 3 Stacks album eventually. It probably won't ever happen, but I need it. I know every time he's ever come on a song, been heat, and I just need that full album one day. What was your choice though?
I chose Come to Life. I was with Devin there a little bit. That's honestly been probably one of my favorite songs of last year. And then, it's just stuck in the rotation constantly compared to other tracks on the album. Always a good listen, but I did like the standard version a lot more than the deluxe version that he ended up having Tyler come in. It's just didn't fit the vibe of the song for me correctly, even though it's very partial there.
Yeah, I agree. I think the original was a little bit better, but they're pretty similar in my opinion. I just kind of wish that, the Tyler collab on a Kanye project. Obviously, they've collaborated before, but not on a Kanye project. I was hoping for a little bit more. Just background vocals for Tyler was a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure those two will do something else in the future.
Definitely, it's expected for sure, and but we'll see when it happens. It didn't happen on Donda too, so
Hey, not yet.
Not yet, I guess. Yeah, they're still mixing those together, so we'll get into that a little bit later, though. All right, moving into our last topic, kind of introduce us into the podcast this week. What are your predictions for Euphoria's season finale coming up this Sunday?
I believe in the first episode of the podcast, I said, you got to watch Euphoria. And then you did. And, we've talked about it. So I feel like we got to give our opinions on what's going to happen. Obviously, Lexi had to play last week. So that was pretty cool. A lot of stuff was going down there to get a lot of dirt uncovered. But I think this week's going to be pretty crazy. Obviously, my man Fezco, he's going through it right now. He's got some snakes in the grass. It's about to get mowed. But a Ashtray, you can't get anything past Ashtray. I think he's about to do something crazy. He's about to pull out the hammer.
We know
again.
how Ashtray's coming. He's gonna get it back in blood.
Oh, he is coming correct for sure. If they do anything to Ashtray or Fezco, cancel the show. I don't want to watch it ever again.
Well, we got to wait about another 2 years. So I'm sure those wounds will heal before we get a third season with Euphoria. So
I do need something big to happen though. They're kind of playing around a little bit. These last couple episodes, nothing too crazy has happened. I want somebody to die. As bad as that sounds, I need somebody to die this episode.
I was looking at a couple theories. A couple made sense to me. Some that Elliot is Lori's nephew, or like in some relation to Lori, because he showed up like as soon as Rue got that bag of drugs from her. So that was a good one. And then what was the other one? This one was kind of little like it didn't really make sense to me. It was just one I wanted to throw in there. Ashtray is Cal's the third son that they have in the family picture there. Doesn't really make sense with him being a baby once Fezco gets him, or Fezco and his grandma gets him. So that'd be pretty cool, but good tie in there. But I don't know. It's not happening.
I feel like they need to show who that brother is. They've kind of teased it like a couple times. And it's just one of those details that you can't just keep teasing. You got to give us an answer eventually. So
the first time around, I was like, maybe like a mistake there. And then that's how they started off season 2 with that picture. So, I mean, it definitely means something. So we'll see eventually.
Definitely. But we'll be back with our thoughts on the season finale next week. So make sure to tune in for that.
All right, moving into our topic this week, we have some ox battles between the both of us. We're both competitive guys here. And, interesting enough, it's Johnny's the ox for his friend group. I'm the ox for my friend group. So, this is hopefully a really competitive battle here. We'll let you guys pick it out throughout the comments and everything. So let's get into it, Johnny.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I went to Kings Island, which is a pretty far drive with the homies. And my boy Trey Layton, he tweeted that I was the Ox MVP. I think I deserved it that trip. So I think, I got some experience running the Ox under my belt. So I think you're going to see why with these songs I chose. One thing I do want to say here is I didn't always go for the, fan favorite or the crowd pleaser. I'm going to play what I want to play because I think you're going to like it. You might not necessarily know it, but I think you're going to like it. So that's my defending my choices in advance.
Yeah, see, I kind of went with a good mix between those two, a crowd pleaser, but, not something that's super overplayed and everything. And, interesting enough to touch on the friends a little bit more. Anytime we'll get into the car, they'll just disconnect automatically. They're like, just take Ox. And I'm like, I don't even know why you guys do this to me. But,
That's just how it goes. Sometimes I just prefer to drive. I don't even like driving, but I prefer to drive just so I can run the Ox and just know the music's going to be up to my standard. But the first category we chose this week is a song by an artist from Atlanta. And the song I chose was Monster by 21 Savage featuring Childish Gambino. They always say 2 is better than 1, and I went with 2 Atlanta artists here, 21 Savage and Childish Gambino. Gambino is one of my favorites. This song, I feel like It's definitely kind of slept on. It's definitely, a little bit older, but I don't always listen to it. But when I do, it hits the same as that first listen.
All right, moving on to my choice here. I had to double dip a little bit as well with the Atlanta boys. So I have Ric Flair "Drip" by 21 Savage featuring Offset. And I mean, not too much needs to be said about this song. Certified banger for sure. Metro Boomin on the production there. So I mean, I'll leave it at that.
I like that choice. Obviously, Without Warning, great project. So not mad at that. I think, we'll see what the people say.
Yes, guys, leave comments, and feedback on who you think won all these. Moving into the second choice here. Song by a female artist. This was a tough one here for me. I was flirting a little bit with Lauryn Hill, trying to make that my choice, but then I ended up landing on Ooh by Young M.A. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of this song. I feel like this is a song that I would skip almost any time it comes on.
See, that was my thing. It's not my favorite song personally, but you got to think about the car with you. What's gonna get everyone hype and get them in the right mood. So that's what I decided on.
I don't think anybody I'm riding in the car with really wants to listen to that song. So that's just my 2 cents though. The song I went with was "Hungry Hippo" by Tierra Whack. This is definitely a more low-key choice. And, like you said, your selection was about, pleasing the crowd and making the car happy. This song, they might not know it, but they'll like it. And the good thing, if they don't like it, it's only 1 minute long. So it's a quick song. They can test it out. If they don't like it, hey, it's on to the next one.
I think we can both agree here. That's the best part about being aux. Like your friends are like, damn, who was that? That's always the best feeling once you get the ask on the song and everything. They're not in the back trying to Shazam it or anything. So,
oh yeah, I love when I get asked that. This is, like I said, it's a pretty good choice. Have you heard this song though? Are you familiar with this Tierra Whack project?
I am not, but you made an interesting point there. If they don't like it, it's only a minute long. So, respectful there.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about her album. If the people don't know about it, you don't know about it. She had this project a couple years ago called Whack World. And it was 15 minutes, 15 songs. Every song was 1 minute. There was also a little video movie to go with it, with like a video for each and every song. So really cool project. You should definitely check it out.
Definitely put the viewers on with that one for sure.
Oh yeah. So moving on to the next category, we chose a song you'd play with your mom in the car. For this category, I chose "Sacrifice" by The Weeknd, off of the new Donda FM project. One of my favorite songs. I'm sure my mom will get down to it. Sounds like you'd be on the radio, but not one of those songs that's on the radio that sucks. High quality song on the radio.
There we go. Respectable choice. I like that song. That'd be something I could see Amy listening to, bumping in the car with you.
Oh yeah.
So this one was a little more difficult for me because, Ashley, she listens to rap. So we're going to stay with my grandma here. Okay. The song I chose was "Everybody" by Mac Miller. I think it's, a good, it fits, what we do here, with the rap and everything, along with it, it being censored as well. It's not a very explicit song or anything. What are your thoughts on that choice?
It's a pretty good choice. I mean, Mac, he's a pretty safe choice, I feel like, and, I can't be mad at that.
All right, moving on to our fourth poll here. Song that starts with the same letter as your first name. This one was a little tough. I used one of the E songs just right before this. So I chose "Every Day" by A$AP Rocky. Good vocals there, throwing it back a little bit with the.
I'm laughing, but you'll see why in a minute.
Okay. All right. Good vocals there and everything, is just a really good song. I like it. What about you?
It's funny you chose that because I chose "Jukebox Joints" by A$AP Rocky. Off At Long Last A$AP. So this is almost just the A$AP Rocky matchup.
This is the A$AP Rocky round for sure.
But obviously I love this song. Features from Joe Fox as well as Kanye. Kanye kills it. Great feature. One of my favorite A$AP Rocky songs probably. So we'll see what the people say, but I think this is a good choice.
Definitely respectable on both sides there. Let's get into our fifth choice.
The next category is a song with a color in the title. For this category, I chose "Pink Matter" by Frank Ocean, featuring Andre 3000. This is just one of the best songs of all time. You cannot convince me otherwise. Three Stacks has one of the most fire feature verses he's ever given, and Frank obviously does his thing as always.
That's tough. I think I may be taking the L here. I couldn't decide I didn't want to double up an artist. I thought about Blue World by Mac Miller, but I ultimately ended up deciding on Gold by Brockhampton. That's gonna be another one that's gonna get the car hype, get everyone right for wherever the destination is. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's definitely more of a crowd pleaser, definitely more of like, the aux setting. I think this is one where it all depends about, where you're going, what time of day it is. Gold is like definitely during the day song, whereas, if we're coming back from somewhere at late at night, Pink Matter would hit a little bit different. So I think those are just two different songs completely, two different moods, but I love both of them.
Interesting to see how that one will play out in the poll for sure. All right, moving on to our sixth poll here. We have a song that dropped before 2000. This one, funny enough, this probably would have been my choice regardless of what Devin posted on his story today, but I have Thuggish Ruggish Bone by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Definitely just a classic track for sure. It just sets the mood right, of course. It just starts out just one of my favorite intros, honestly.
That's a great choice. You said Devin posted it today. Devin
did post that day.
Devin had it as his walk-up song for slow pitch softball intramural league here at Illinois State. That was always great. We all had our own individual walkout songs. We had somebody sitting there with the Bluetooth speaker ready to play it, and it was always a hit.
What was your walkout song?
Yeah. I'll say, me, I couldn't just pick one. I think I had like 3 walk-up songs. And me, I also wanted to get some looks. So I remember the first one I chose was Yonkers. I'm a fucking walking paradox. I just wanted to get people looking at me like, and I would hit leadoff for us. I just wanted to get people's looks like, what is this team doing? We actually played wiffle ball. Also, we took wiffle ball way too serious. We had customized t-shirts. We were the Cougs. Our team name was Roll Cougs because a lot of my friends are from Geneva, Illinois, which is actually where the Kane County Cougars minor league baseball team is from. And so they're always saying Roll Cougs, so I photoshopped the Cougars logo and just made it say Cougs, and then slapped on some shirts. We had nicknames on the back, me, had the Latin Assassin on the back, and it was always great. But besides that, I went with, I think, Can't Tell Me Nothing or Touch the Sky, one of those Kanye songs, as well as No Problem by Chance. So some good walkout songs, I think.
Definitely fire choices there for sure.
What would you choose if you had to pick a walkout song? What would it be?
Ooh, that's tough. Maybe I'd maybe go Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar, just gang signs out the window, just walking up there. That get me right. So
no,
I'd probably say that one.
That's a decent choice. Moving on here to my selection for a song that released before 2000. I'm going with Two Dope Boys and a Cadillac by Outkast.
I knew you'd choose an Outkast song. I'm not surprised by that one there.
I was between this and Elevators, Me and You, but I had to go with Two Dope Boys. That's just a way better vibe for the car. I don't know. I love Me and You. Elevators is one of the best songs. There's a scene in Atlanta where they play that. Atlanta's one of my favorite shows. That's one of my favorite Outkast songs. So it's just like one of my favorite scenes, but had to go with Two Dope Boys. I mean, that song just fits the vibe of riding around with the homies in the car. Got to go with it.
Definitely respectable there. Moving on to our last one here. Song where the feature carries. This is the one where we had the most dialogue between each other. I'm very interested to see what you have. Ultimately, I landed on Ultralight Beam by Kanye West with Chance's feature on the end there. Kanye, it's not a bad, I kind of going into this, I was like, maybe it's a bad verse by the rapper whose song it is, but it's really not a bad verse by Kanye. Chance's verse is just that good. One of my favorite verses ever.
Wow, that's an interesting choice. That's a good choice, though. I really respect that. I was almost thinking Devil New Dress by Kanye featuring Rick Ross. I think Rick Ross has one of the best features I've ever heard on that song. But obviously in Kanye's discography, this is one of the best features he's received. I think this Chance feature is one of the best verses Chance has ever given. And just like I said, one of the best features Kanye's ever had. So really great choice. But I ended up going with Crew by Gold Link featuring Brent Faiyaz and Shy Glizzy. You know I'm not going with the Shy Glizzy verse. I'm going with Brent Faiyaz. That hook is the only reason I like that song. The verses are fine. Shy Glizzy actually prefer to Gold Link, I think. But wow, that Brent Faiyaz hook, I feel like that's when people got introduced to Brent Faiyaz, the mainstream at least. And I feel like people just thought it was Brent Faiyaz's song because he killed it.
That is very good verse there. Very respectable choice. I think I got to take the W here, though. You know, you're putting those verses head to head. Give me chances all day. So we'll see what the fans think, though.
It's definitely a better verse, but that chorus, that chorus goes crazy. Like I would take that chorus over that verse any day. As much as I love that Chance verse, I'm bumping.
Hot take there. Yeah.
I'm bumping Crew way more than I'm bumping Ultralight Beam in 2022.
Let's move on to the weekly news here.
Especially in the car. Pray for Paris. Pray for the parents. You want to hear that with the homies? No, you want to hear, she see money all around me.
I don't know, man. Once that Chance verse comes on me and all my boys are going crazy. So
yeah, I respect it though. Obviously, I'm a Chance fan, so I love it. But I think that wraps up the Aux battle. You know, this is our first one. We're going to do some Instagram polls this week. So let us know who won. We're going to do a poll for each matchup. There were 7 categories here. So can't be a tie unless one goes 50-50. So we'll see.
See what happens for sure. You know, I'm confident in all my choices there. Always going to back mine. What are your thoughts?
I'm obviously the same way. I chose songs I like, not necessarily songs everybody loves, but I think if they don't love it and they haven't listened to it, I'm trying to put them on, you know? So I think I got some good selections here. I think I got a good chance. So we'll have to see what the people say.
That was my thing though with it. You know, it's just like, when you're on Aux by yourself, you know, I don't go deep dive into what I like on, you know, Apple Music or Spotify. I try and please the crowd a little bit. So, you know, I tried to keep it that, you know, whereas I was trying to put people on. So we have different perspectives on that for sure. So
definitely a little bit different. Like Aux is different from like at a party though as well. Like I would choose way different songs at a party than I would on the aux cord in a car. So that's what I'm thinking. At a party, I'm going for that more crowd pleaser vibe. But in the car with the, you know, you only got like 3 people in there max. Like I'm playing what I want to play and hoping they like it. And playing songs I think they'd like that they might not know.
Okay. I respect it. Let's get on to the weekly news this week.
Of course, we got to talk about Donda 2. Earlier, we talked about that poll. 15 thought it was going to drop on time. 10 did not. Obviously, those 10 were correct. I know Elijah was one of those 10. But the listening party did happen on Tuesday this week. So the album it didn't release, but we got a taste of it on the day it was supposed to come out. What do you think about this listening party?
Yeah, it wasn't, you know, the sound engineers. I thought the, you know, the first half, all the newer songs they were doing, they killed it. But the second half just, you know, it didn't live up to expectations for sure. I'm still a bigger fan of the Chicago show that I ended up attending, you know. So what were your thoughts what would you choose between the two?
You know, I think I really enjoyed this listening party. I'm going to be honest. I feel like you're a little bit biased. Obviously, you went to the Chicago one, so that's going to, you know, be a standout for you. Personally, I didn't go to any, obviously. I didn't even watch like the last one because I was, you know, at Harvard that week. Slight flex. But you know, I thought that this one was on par with the other ones. I really like the set. I really like the water. And of course, Kanye's been wearing those like waterproof tall boots.
The SpongeBob boots.
Oh yeah. So seeing him just splash around in the water was pretty funny. But yeah, I thought it was, you know, pretty good. The audio was very unfortunate. This part where Kanye takes out the earpieces and just throws the mic, it was hilarious. Obviously I noticed it in real time. I was like, yo, what's happening? But you could hear like what was happening, and you're just like, something's off. I mean, 5-Yo Foreign was just fighting for his life against the mic, and he was not winning. He was like 3 seconds behind, and then he like stopped to try to catch up, and he just was still off. It was tough. And I mean, even Alicia Keys, she kind of messed up a little bit. Alicia Keys went crazy though. She did really good live. I actually saw her live at Chance's Festival back in 2016. And, you know, I don't really listen to Alicia Keys like that, but she's got those songs that everybody knows, like No One, and obviously Empire State of Mind she's featured on. And I mean, those songs went crazy in that stadium. So she was really good.
Those sound engineers are going to find God for
They
sure.
have to.
But another thing, you know, touch on the Chicago show a little bit more, why I liked it more. Maybe, like I said, just because I was there, but you know, you had the cars going around the whole time. You had a lot more action. They set the house on fire. I mean, there were a lot of huge names. I think the biggest surprise of the night was having X, you know, featured on a couple songs actually. You know, had Migos, Baby Keem, Future, of course, Don Toliver, a ton of different artists. Like you said, Alicia Keys as well. Jack Harlow made it. You know, prediction from last week. Cardi on there, of course. Sean Leon, Fivio Foreign, Vori, Soldier Boy. I was excited for that one. I was the leaked message that he had with Kanye was hilarious. I'm glad they finally got him on Donda.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And then who had the better sample, Kim K or Kamala Harris?
Ooh, you know, I think I'm gonna have to go with Kim K. Kanye putting that on the project, such a flex. I married the best rapper and the richest black man in America. Both of those things being true about you is a flex, and they're both true about Kanye.
Definitely. We haven't really touched on it too much, you know, since the first time it came out. What are your thoughts on City of Gods, by the way?
You know, City of Gods is decent. I thought it sounded pretty good live, honestly. Like even with some of the audio issues, Alicia Keys went crazy on that chorus and Fivio did pretty good on the verse. Kind of was just playing the, you know, whatever, yeah. But he had thrown the mic at that point. So, but in general, I think it's a pretty decent song. It doesn't really, I don't really play it too much, honestly, but it's pretty good.
The reason why I ask, I've seen like a lot of hate towards it, especially, you know, on social media and everything. I don't know, like everybody had a good verse there. Alicia Keys killed it with the chorus. I like Fivio Foreign's. Then I mean, Kanye may have the verse of the year for me. You know, even he shouts it out too. I thought his verse goes crazy. It just keeps growing on me. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
But since that Miami listening party, songs have been getting updated to the stem player. You had 4 songs get added yesterday, and then today, on the day we're recording, 12 more songs got added. Did you have a standout from this bunch if you got a chance to listen to them yet?
I have. They're not in my exact playlist yet, so it's a little tough to remember. What's the one with Baby Keem and Migos? What's that song in there?
That's We Did It, Kid.
That probably would have been my favorite. You know, I'm glad to see Keem back working with Ye and everything. So far, that'd be my favorite. In other news, I did order a stem player, so that should be here shortly. So, you know, if you guys were looking to sell me one for the low, you can just disregard that now.
No, you can sell it to me now.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we're gonna blow up on TikTok. We gotta be like those kids that just post all the different stems on TikTok. They're just posting like Frank Ocean audio stems. They get like 1 million likes. I think we just gotta find something that nobody else has put a stem up of, and we're gonna pop off.
That goes crazy for me. That was kind of like my last, you know, I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, Donda 2 is coming out on it. And then they just kept popping up on my For You page, those stems. So I was like, I got to do it. I'll pull the trigger for sure.
Same. I'm thinking about it. I might just have to do it too. $200, you know, not cheap, but
worth it. Worthwhile.
Kind of worth it. Some of my favorite songs, though, on this project, I had to go with Flowers, True Love with X, and then Louis Bags with Jack Harlow. Those are some of my favorites. What do you guys say about those choices?
I mean, I don't think there's, you know, solidified best song on there. I'll respect anything that anybody likes. I liked all the tracks for the most part. So
I thought the X features were actually both really good.
They're very good. And it was like one of those really unexpected things that caught you off guard. So,
and that X chorus to open that song, True Love Shouldn't Be This Complicated. Thought I'd Die in Your Arms. Thought I'd Die in Your. That's just like a great chorus. And the thing I saw Kanye say about Donda 2 was in Donda 1, the house was set on fire, and this Donda 2 was running back into the fire. And, you know, I kind of think this song and that chorus sets that mood because it's kind of about, you know, the relationship's kind of over, but thought I was going to die in your arms. He thought he was going to end up with Kim, and, you know, it doesn't look that way right now, obviously. But I thought it was a really great chorus to set the mood. What do you think?
Definitely. I like that. Looking into a little bit deeper and everything, of course. I just and that may end up going into one of my favorite songs on the album for sure. It is a very good chorus, like you said. So I mean, I just don't want my solidified pick yet.
I agree. I definitely got to give it some more listens. And I mean, I just download, I hope the feds aren't listening, but I did just download it off of Google Drive. Who even knows if it's in the right order? I'm just listening to these random songs. So, oh, my boy's trying to get me tapped in.
Caught that man on
He
4K.
caught me on 4K. But yeah, if you're watching, or if you're just listening, you didn't even see that. So make sure you go tap in on the YouTube channel. Give us a sub. You would have seen he just pulled the camera on me. But anyway, other than that, though, I mean, Louis Bags with Jack Harlow went kind of crazy.
Fire. You knew Harlow was gonna come correct, after finally getting that stamp from Kanye. It was so big to him. I knew it was gonna be a fire verse for sure.
Jack's verse was so good. But I mean, the chorus was so repetitive at the same time. I stopped buying Louis Bags ever since Virgil passed. I love that line. Like, that is a great line. Like, if it would have been like a 1 or 2 time thing in the song, it would have been good. But he said it so many times. I love it. I still love it. But I was like, give us a little something else. Like, it was good.
Feel that. All right, moving on. We actually had, after the listening party, we had Ye ask Cardi to go on tour together. What are your thoughts on that?
I can't even imagine how that tour would be.
The most toxic tour out there for sure.
100%. You saw how the tour with Cardi and Rico Nasty went. They were abusing Rico. The fans were ruthless. They did not care to see Rico. Obviously, I think that'd be a little bit different with Kanye. But those fans are still crazy and they're reckless.
I will stamp this. I will say this on record. Playboi Carti has the most annoying fans out there.
You're not wrong. Some of those kids are crazy. I love Playboi Carti, but I'm nowhere near the level of those kids. They are a different breed.
Like, it kind of teeters me away from listening to Playboi Carti a little bit, just because like it's just so annoying. It's kind of, they're right up there with NBA YoungBoy fans. Even though that's just kind of a troll. These Playboi Carti stands they're being dead ass.
No, that's the thing. I don't even think the NBA YoungBoy fans are serious. I think it's just kids that are like, it's a troll move to be an NBA
ratio
YoungBoy fan.
Plus YoungBoy better.
Yeah, it's like that's all they say. Like, they're not actually like bumping his music like that. But have you ever seen his numbers on YouTube? He goes crazy on YouTube for no reason.
Insane on YouTube. Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
He's one of the kings of YouTube for sure.
It's crazy. But back to that Kanye and Cardi tour, that would be crazy. I can't even imagine, because obviously Cardi would open up for Kanye. There would be injuries. There would be blood in the pits in the first 30 minutes. Like, it would be crazy before Kanye even got out there. And obviously, I would be dying to see Kanye. So I can't even imagine how it would be at that point.
I just can't imagine someone, all these kids, moshing around, and then Come to Life comes on, or Life of the Party, a song like that he performs.
Yeah, I can't either.
All right, moving on to, still more Kanye news, of course, prevalent in every episode. Genius episode 2 was out. What were your thoughts on that?
I love this documentary. Every time I'm sitting there watching it, it just feels like it goes on forever, but in the best way.
Definitely, like, it occupies so much time, but like you said, in the best way.
Like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, is this almost over? And there's 30 more minutes, but I'm like, I wish there was 2 more hours.
Definitely. Like, I feel like you can't get enough content. Some highlights from this episode: Kanye rapping Through the Wire to Pharrell. That was probably my favorite scene so far. How'd you feel about that?
That was crazy. Obviously, when the line about Through the Wire hit, Pharrell just ran out of the studio. Obviously, once he realized that Kanye's rapping with his jaw wired shut, that makes the song so much better. It bumps it up by like 5 times. And when they hit Pharrell, I think that was everybody's first reaction when they heard the song.
Definitely. And then he was also rapping for Jay-Z as well. I love when they get the scenes where he's rapping for other rappers. It's just so cool. Such iconic, things to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy to be able to see how the first Kanye and Jay-Z collab happened. I loved how Jay-Z said, closed mouth don't get fed. I mean, that's just like the truest thing ever. Like if Kanye just sat there and produced, he wouldn't be who he is today. He is very vocal about the fact that he wanted to be a rapper and he got his opportunity, and you see where it's taken him.
Definitely. And, another couple things, just like the disrespect Kanye went through. It's just like Rockefeller withholding his budget, not giving him a release date for his album. He had to pay out of his own pocket for his video shoot for what was it, Jesus Walks.
Through the Wire.
And Through the Wire. Yeah. There was a couple songs that he had to do himself there, and it was crazy. He's going on and he's I'm selling t-shirts so I can pay for these videos and everything and all this other stuff. It's crazy, the disrespect, that he was receiving.
Yeah, it is crazy. He says he paid $33,000 for the Through the Wire video, and that is crazy because like it also just shows how far technology has come, because I'm like, that video is nothing that crazy. I'm like, how did it cost $33,000? Like they didn't have to rent a set. It was just they put pictures on like a green screen. I was like, how are they paying that much money for that? Like I've never made a music video of that level before, but I was like, that's crazy. They cost that much money.
Definitely. And it's crazy to see where we come. We touched on it a little bit. I think it was a couple weeks ago now. People are recording videos on iPhones. Cole Bennett, one of the biggest video producers out there, is recording videos on iPhones now. So
it's crazy.
I also love the John Legend appearance in there. That was kind of something I wasn't expecting to see throughout the documentary.
Yeah, I especially loved it because who knows what terms those two are on right now, because of the Drink Champs interview where he was kind of anti John Legend, anti Big Sean, but obviously they have a pretty rich history together. And so seeing John Legend with that goatee, OG John Legend before he's the sexiest man alive, it's great to see his roots. He's sitting there on the piano playing Ordinary People. That's like one of my favorite songs by him, definitely, and maybe even ever. I love that song. So it was really cool to see that so many years ago.
My only concern with the documentary is we're not even to late registration yet in the documentary. So it's moving pretty slow. We got to have a jam-packed third episode to get to some of the things we're the most excited for. They also are talking about recording a fourth episode. So we'll see where they're at with that. I mean, hopefully we get some of these moments later in Kanye's career.
Yeah, I mean, the end little trailer for next week that they've shown in the first two episodes have both been just so good. I've been so excited for next week. In the first episode, they showed us that we're going to get Through the Wire and all that this episode. And obviously that's such a crazy story. But then they kind of showed everything else that Kanye's done since like 2005 in this last one, all finishing with him standing up in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And it's just like, oh my God, like there is, like you said, there's so much more to go into. Like I really do hope there's a fourth episode. I don't think it's going to be the case, and it maybe not for a while, maybe eventually, but I mean, there's so much I want to see this episode. There's so many like moments in Kanye's career that happen past late registration. Mm-hmm. Obviously, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the Taylor Swift incident, George Bush doesn't care about Black people. There's so many.
His mother passing away. I mean, there's huge moments that, hopefully we get to see.
We can only hope.
All right, moving past Kanye here. Kendrick Lamar performing at a Milano Summer Festival in Italy this summer. What are your thoughts on that?
With this announcement that he was going to be at this festival, they said he was going to play pieces of the new album long awaited by fans. This is some crazy news because it makes it seem like that Kendrick album is not too far away. At some points, it kind of feels like that Kendrick album is just never going to release, or that Kendrick's retired. But obviously, I feel like Kendrick still has some songs left in the vault, maybe in some projects left in the vault. So this is a good sign that we're going to get some of that soon.
Definitely. I'll stand by my hot take. This is going to be the last Kendrick project we're going to get. And it does look like it's going to come out a little bit before the summer. So hopefully we're able to bang that.
Yeah. The way they said it, though, was interesting to me. Like, it almost makes it sound like they're going to hear the songs for the first time there.
Yeah, that's another thing. That makes me lack a little bit of confidence there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. I think it'd be so weird to be like at a concert and hear the songs the first time. Like it's kind of cool, obviously, to be able to say you were at the show he played the song for the first time. I think the listening parties are different because Kanye is not really performing the songs at all. He's just playing them. Whereas these would be Kendrick performing the songs. So it's a little bit different. But then at the same time, I was at Lollapalooza this year and I saw Mick Jenkins and he performed 3 new songs. And I thought that was really cool. I love those songs. So, and then they ended up being on his album Elephant in the Room that came out late last year. So it was pretty cool to be able to say I saw those songs for the first time he performed them. So it would be cool, I guess, at the same time. But then you don't like know the songs, so you kind of just standing there like nodding your head a little bit, but it's still cool either way. I just want to get that new Kendrick.
Definitely. And I think it's expected. Another good sign here. He changed his Spotify profile picture. They changed his Spotify profile picture. So that's always a good sign, that an artist is a drop's coming in the near future.
Definitely. But speaking of drops, it is Thursday when we're recording this podcast. So we haven't heard any of these albums or singles that are coming out this week on Friday, but we wanted to, talk about them so you're aware of them so you can give them a listen if you haven't had the chance yet. The first one, Conway the Machine dropping an album, as well as Earthgang. Earthgang's been quiet for a little while, but they're coming back with a project. Pretty exciting to see. Earthgang's actually been going around and playing this album for the fans at all these different shows. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to see. So I'm really excited for this project. There's actually a lot of big features on this project, Future, Smino, JID. So definitely gonna give this one a listen tomorrow. JPEG Mafia with his LP offline version. This version came out late last year, but actually was not able to be put on streaming services because of sample clearance and all that kind of stuff. But he must have got them clear because they're out, including the song Hazard Duty Pay, which is one of my favorite songs from last year, finally on streaming services. If you haven't heard that one, go give it a listen. We also have projects coming this week from Kodak Black and SSG Kobe. So pretty big week, although these aren't some of the biggest names in the industry. So pretty moderate sized names, but excited for the projects.
Definitely. I'm for most excited for the JPEG Mafia finally to get put on streaming. I always hate going back and forth between SoundCloud or YouTube, Apple Music. So it's good to finally see. I love when they finally can get that clearance on some of these samples.
I definitely agree that it's kind of annoying, but I've given all those songs a listen. So I think the one I'm most excited for is Earthgang. I mean, I've seen some TikToks and stuff at the shows, but I haven't heard any of the music yet. I need to give it a listen. I'm excited. Earthgang hasn't really missed. They've been pretty under the radar. Maybe this is the project takes to the mainstream. We'll see.
And then we have some singles dropping this week. Denzel Curry and Slow Tie coming out this week coming out today, actually, a day early versus most of these other drops. We also have Trippie Redd, Chris Patrick, Tyga, Muramasa with the Pink Panthers, like you mentioned earlier, Lil Uzi Vert and Shy Girl all on that track there. What's your favorite single you're most excited for?
It's got to be this Denzel Curry and Slow Tie single. Came out today. So good. And it just gets me even more excited for this project that's to be coming out soon by Denzel Curry. Walkin' was such a good single. And then this is on that same level. So if he keeps this up, I think we got an album of the year contender in our hands.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. And then, your boy over here, Chance the Rapper, teasing a little bit. How about a new one in March? What are your thoughts on that?
Yep. Hey, it's got to be coming. Chance has not been putting too much music out since the big day. Nothing that's even on streaming services, I don't think. So he needs to just do it, see how the public reacts, see if he can get that respect back. I don't think I lost that much respect for him. It's just one bad project. Like he's gonna bounce back here and he's gonna be at the level he was at as long as he puts out a good project here.
Definitely. I'm expecting a better project. We've waited a little bit. If he comes out with a flop though, that may be the end of Chance.
I hate to say it, but it might be. I feel like there's a lot of rappers that, especially before our time, that I've talked with my uncle about. Uncle Ray, shout out. And he was like, "Oh, I thought he was be big." He wasn't. He's got all these rappers that he plays in the car with me, and I'm like, I've never heard of this person. Like, he's like, "Oh, this album was good, whatever." If Chance kind of flops on this project, Chance might turn turn into one of those people where, he's got a couple good projects. We're bumping him in 20 years, but people are like, who is this guy?
Definitely. It could happen. It could not. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get a good review coming out in March.
I feel like it'll just be a single then, and then maybe
gotcha.
Then we'll get the album like April or May. I feel like he's a spring summer release, so we'll see.
That kind of sets the tone for the question we have from my boy Levi, one of our 2 questions this week. What is a great album that you absolutely loved and everything that was followed up by a miss for you?
I think this is definitely a hard question. I feel like there's not a lot of people that I listen to that I think have misses. Like, I'm so biased in that aspect where I'm like, it's hard for me to say, oh, that's a miss. Like, because I try to find something I can enjoy about any project I listen to. But the answer I'm going to go with here is J. Cole going from For Your Eyes Only to KOD. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I'd say KOD is a bad album, but like, it's definitely a step down from where he was out with even 2014 Forest Hills Drive along with For Your Eyes Only. So I respect that choice. It's an interesting choice. I was not expecting J. Cole to be on the list. Once you said his name, I was thinking, oh, what's he picking here? But I see where I see the take. It's not as hot, as
2014 Forest Hills Drive and For Your Eyes Only are just 2 fantastic albums, and KOD just did not do it for me when it first dropped, and even less now. Like, I don't listen to any of those songs. I could not tell you the last time I listened to a song off that project. So that's
You're
the reason I chose
absolutely right
it.
with that. It doesn't have very much replay value. The choice I had was my boy Roddy Rich. He deactivated his socials. Going from Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial to Live Life Fast. I was such a big Roddy Rich fan, even when he's doing the Feed the Streets projects. And then he came out with Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, and that project was huge. That was, that's the Roddy I wanted to get and everything, kind of a little more mainstream, I guess, mainstream rap versus, where he's doing the, what's the word I'm looking, gangster rap. There we go. That he did with his earlier projects. It was everything I wanted in a project. And definitely one of my favorite albums of, what would that be? It was the end of 2019 going into 2020. So what are your thoughts on that?
I personally don't listen to either of these albums very much, but from what Twitter said, this is a great choice. Everybody seems to have loved the first Roddy Ricch album, but that second one, it seemed like a miss. Twitter was putting this man in shambles. And then, like you said, he deleted his socials. That obviously not an ideal move. You're kind of just giving in to all the pressure from all the fans at that point. You got to do something different. I think he deleted it after he put a snippet out, though. Didn't he put a snippet out and people were like, this is trash?
Yeah, it was something along the lines there. And it was not a good scene. It was not one of my favorite things he's put out. So he's still only 23 years old, definitely has time to bounce back and everything. So I think he'll have a very successful career.
No, that's definitely the thing. I think, there's so much pressure on artists to deliver a masterpiece or, at least a fan favorite every time they drop. But if you look at J. Cole, him having KOD, and I consider that a miss, but I'm sure there's people out there that don't. And he's obviously come back from that. Like we said, Chance earlier, Big Day, obviously a miss, but he's going to have so much time to come back from that. Same with Roddy Ricch. So I think it's all about how you come back from that miss.
All right, moving on to our second question here. What is one of your favorite songs to work out to?
I think this is a really good question. I want to put the people on here. I'm going to go with Banana Clipper by Run the Jewels featuring Big Boy. I think this is a great song, great beat, gets me feeling right. I also think there's a big difference between the type of songs I work out to because I do like to go on runs, but I also like to lift. So there's definitely a different vibe I have of what I'm wanting to listen to when I'm going on a run versus what I'm trying to do when I'm lifting. I'm trying to get that hard song when I'm trying to lift. When I'm going on a run, I kind of like to listen to something a little bit smoother, kind of just, distract me while I'm running. I kind of like to listen to new music on a run as well because I'm just trying to find something to distract me. So I'd be like, oh, I like that beat. I like the lyric here. So I'm not focused on how dead I'm feeling on the run.
Definitely. That's a respectable choice. I like that choice a lot. And, like you said, explaining a little bit with a little bit smoother so you can go get a nice little flow for your run. For me, like, even if I'm on a run or I'm lifting, I still have like the same vibe, same playlist. I kind of, venture in a little bit into rock and then also a little bit more like gangster rap or, drill rap a little bit. The song I chose was it's a good mix there, not between the two, I guess, in terms of the rap I chose, but I have a Numb Encore with Jay-Z with from Linkin Park, obviously, with Numb, and then the Jay-Z version there. It's always a good song to get me hyped and everything.
That's a good choice. Personally, not my playlist, but obviously I've heard it in many playlists and at many like sporting events. So I think that's a good choice.
Definitely. And with that being said, I think that about wraps it up for this week. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I'm excited to see how the Aux battle turns out. This is our first one, obviously, hoping we can do some more in the future. So if you have any ideas on categories you want us to choose a song for that we pick on the Aux, let us know in the comments on YouTube. Shoot us a DM at Second Avenue Pod on all socials, and we'll try to get into some on the next episode of Aux Battle.
Definitely. And we just want to thank you guys for all the support and everything again. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.